Okay, so what you just saw there on your screens was the ruckus that played out in Parliament today. This was over Rahul Gandhi being stopped from speaking. In fact, the chair at that point, after telling Rahul Gandhi he cannot speak on the issue of China or the unpublished memoir, moved on to other speakers, leading to an all-out protest by opposition MPs. 8 MPs have now been suspended for that particular move of throwing papers at the chair. One of them is Congress MP from Virudhunagar in Tamil Nadu, Manickam Tagore, who joins me on this broadcast. Mr. Manickam Tagore, Vanakkam, welcome. Thank you for joining us here on India Today. Tell me, sir, what played out in Lok Sabha today? What happened?
Good evening. We all know that the motion to thank the Honorable President for her address to the Parliament was taken up from yesterday because that's the customary way. Uh, Usually, the ruling party's member and then opposition leader will speak. Then, at last, the Honorable Prime Minister will reply to that, and the motion is to thank the Honorable President concludes. I'm in my 12th year in Parliament, and 12 years I had seen this happening in different kind of terms. That is with Sushma Swaraj first as the leader of opposition, then I'd seen Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary ji as the floor leader of the opposition in the previous term, and then Rahul Gandhi ji himself in the previous 2 years. But this year, there was something different is happening. They are not allowing Rahul Gandhi ji, the leader of opposition, to speak.
Okay.
Yesterday itself, there were 4 adjournment motions was done because Mr. Gandhi was speaking about a book which was written by not by Pakistani general, but by the Indian general, celebrated general Narwane. And the book which he was quoting and the article which he was quoting, they said, the ruling party said, the Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister said
Yeah.
that it should be authenticated.
No, I'll talk about that in a bit, sir. But just to talk about what happened in the Lok Sabha today. Yes, you have objections to the fact that Mr. Rahul Gandhi wasn't allowed to speak in Parliament, but surely the manner in which you register that protest is not by throwing papers at the chair. What happened there? Are you justifying what played out in the Lok Sabha?
Without knowing about an action, you will not able to understand the reaction part. If you want to speak about the reaction part only, we can keep on speaking about the reaction part.
No, sure,
There is
sir.
an action, there is a reaction. The action is that to kill democracy in Parliament. There is an action to murder democracy in Parliament, demolish opposition voices, be bulldozing the opposition voices. That cannot be allowed. That can, if you bring a bulldozer to bulldoze all the opposition voices, that won't be allowed. That would be just left unasked, question being asked without any protest. That will be stopped by any means. That will be protested. There are voices we had been taught to protest against these kind of things. Indian democracy has gone through these kind of all kind of situations. Mr. Amit Shah and Modi cannot bulldoze Indian Parliament like this.
Sure.
It is
So,
not Gujarat Assembly.
okay, so you've explained the action to me, sir. Now just the reaction. You think it's warranted, justified? Yes, the opposition is outraged, but surely there's a manner to protest. Is that in the form of throwing papers at the chair, at climbing atop tables, as in fact has been claimed? We don't see that in the footage, though.
I was speaking about the first time I was explaining to you the reaction. Now I'll tell you about the action. What they did, leader of opposition was not allowed to speak for 4 terms yesterday. Today he gave the authentication letter to the Secretary General. And after that, about the book of General Narvani, that was submitted by leader of opposition. After that, when leader of opposition started to speak about it, when he was speaking about Pakistan, China and India's border issues, and then U.S. Relationship with China, suddenly the chair was forced by the government to call the next speaker. I have never seen it like this. Opposition leader Rahul Gandhi, the party has 4 hours in the time allocation. 4 hours we are having for speaking. Rahul Gandhi has not spoken for 7 minutes for the past 2 days. And this kind of bulldozing is not acceptable. Let us come to the action now. What they did it, when they said that we will be, they called the TMC member, honorable TMC member's name. TMC member refused to speak because opposition leader's voice has been curtailed. Then Samajwadi members was called. He refused to speak, saying that opposition leader is not allowed to speak. Then DMK member was called. He refused to speak. Then they went to TDP member. Then we protested. Then we protested, we shouted at the slogans, we went into the well and said the thing that this is demolition of parliament, it should not be allowed. And then we shouted at the ministers, saying that this is a bulldozing the parliament and we will not allow. Then they instigated us. Then our members who are having papers in their hand throw the paper at the ministers, and few of the papers fall on the speaker's chair.
So what exactly happened, sir? Because what we're hearing is that there were MPs who climbed on top of tables and then threw these papers. Did that happen? And if that did happen, sir, is that something that's justifiable?
No, you have to understand it. When injustice is done, you can't ask the injustice.
So two wrongs surely don't make a right, Mr. Manickam Tagore.
No, injustice.
There are other ways to protest. I completely agree. You have a right to protest. You have a right to raise the issues that the opposition faces. But is this the way, sir, to climb on top of tables in the temple of democracy and throw papers?
When temple is not a temple, when temple is made as a mockery of democracy, when temple is made as a place where you will murder democracy, it is not called as democracy. It is not called as temple. Temple is not a building. You have to understand it. It is a system which has to work on a system. Opposition voices, 240 MPs are there of Lok Sabha who are opposition MPs. And you are having a government which is 239 MPs of the BJP are there. And their alliance partner is around 30 MPs are there. With that, their help only they are in the government. BJP has been reduced from 303 to 240 now. They are not having a single party government also.
No, so your outrage...
But the arrogance is so high that as if they are 400 seat.
Sir, your outrage is warranted. But again, I'll ask you, as someone who's now been suspended for what played out in the Lok Sabha, do you stand by that? By the reaction that came in from all of you, the MPs?
Whenever injustice is done, we will protest it. We will fight against it. We will not bow down to this kind of thing. The voice of the opposition leadership must be allowed to speak. Opposition should be allowed their voice to be raised in the parliament. Parliament is a place we had been elected by people. The way Mr. Modi was elected, I was also elected by the people. The way Amit Shah is elected, my colleagues in the parliament is also elected. We are all part of the election process. People has elected us. We had come to here in the parliament. So we can't be silent towards all these things.
The form of protest is what I'm asking you about, sir. But Mr. Manickam Tagore, I just want you to listen to what Minister Piyush Goyal has said in response to what played out in Parliament. I'd like your reaction on what Piyush Goyal said too, sir. Do stay with us. Let's play out what Piyush Goyal said. He's demanded an apology from Rahul Gandhi, particularly over the questions that have been raised by the opposition on the trade deal. Listen in to Piyush Goyal.
साधारणतः तो हम पार्लियामेंट में बोलना चाहते थे इसके बारे में, लेकिन हम सबने देखा वो भद्दा दृश्य, जिस प्रकार से विपक्ष विशेषकर राहुल गांधी जी के नेतृत्व में कांग्रेस पार्टी और उनके मित्र पक्ष डीएमके, तृणमूल कांग्रेस, समाजवादी पार्टी, कितना भद्दा व्यवहार आज उन्होंने पार्लियामेंट में किया। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी की आसन तक पहुंचकर उनका अपमान किया। मैं घोर निंदा करता हूं विपक्ष की, राहुल गांधी जी की।
Mr. Manickam Tagore, you've heard from the government there. They're saying that there was an insult to the speaker with the kind of actions that were committed, and they've demanded an apology, sir, from all of you, from Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
First is Mr. Piyush Goyal was absent in doubts when these things are all happening. When leader of opposition was not allowed to speak, when he authenticated the letter today, yesterday Piyush Goyal was there. Today he was not at all in Lok Sabha. Where he was there, we don't know. He is a trade minister who has failed in the trade. Tariff is 18% tariff on our goods and 0% on Americans. And 500 billion products you have to buy it from Americans. Is it a successful deal? He calls it. What he says he's going to do it. All the farm products are going to be allowed now. This is a
No,
complete
this is
failure.
Trump's version. This is what Trump has said. We don't know yet what the exact fine print of the deal is.
Then why Mr. Modi is tweeting that Trump Truth Social? Why he is not denying it? The question should be asked to Mr. Modi. What I am saying is, you deny it. Then, Mr. Trump, you are lying. We are not accepted it. We will not buy $500 billion dollars of product from you. Zero tariff. We will put you 18% on you. It will be reciprocal tax on you. You do that thing, you know. Show some Spain.
No,
but the problem with Piyush Goyal like people is when they don't come to the house and give a lecture to us. He was not in the house today when these things were happening, when leader of opposition was not allowed to speak. Yesterday he was there with helping Mr. Amit Shah. Why these people are speaking yarn to us? When Piyush Goyal, like people who are failed ministers in the trade deals, are not able to come to the parliament and give lecture to you in the media, and we are asked to reply to them. This is the saddest part. They are not ready to come to parliament.
He's a union minister, so that's why I sought your response. He's a union minister who's made a comment about what played out in parliament. Ultimately, I hope that we do see a discussion on the trade deal in the House tomorrow. I hope it's not more of disruptions and we see constructive business going forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Manickam Tagore, for joining us, for taking the time out. Mr. Manickam Tagore, along with several of his colleagues, have been suspended as a result of that sequence where papers were hurled at the speaker. He explains what really played out. He says that the opposition is not being allowed to speak. But what exactly happened? I'll break it down for you. It was first Rahul Gandhi who raised the issue of China once again in the Lok Sabha. Just to recap your memory, this is exactly what played out yesterday as well in the Lok Sabha. You had Rahul Gandhi raising the issue of China, the unpublished memoir of General Naravane. Very clearly, the speaker said nothing doing, this will not be allowed. Once again today, Rahul Gandhi sought to address the exact same issue. The speaker again refused permission for the same. Repeatedly told Rahul Gandhi, you reply to the president's address, do not mention this particular issue. Amid that, one MP, in fact there, in all likelihood KC Venugopal, referred to the chair while objecting to what was happening as yar. The chair immediately objected, saying this kind of language is simply not allowed in the parliament. You cannot call me yar. Have some respect for the person seated in the chair, seated as the speaker at that moment. And so at that point, he said very clearly, Rahul Gandhi will not be allowed to speak. He moved on to the next opposition MP. One opposition MP after another, all of them refused to speak. Finally, the opportunity moved on to someone in the treasury benches. Opposition MPs then stormed into the well of the House, started tearing up papers, throwing it at the chair, and the government immediately after that, the House was adjourned. So the government then moved a resolution to suspend 8 MPs. Papers were thrown again at the chair, and that has led to the suspension of these 8 MPs for the remainder of the session. The Lok Sabha stands adjourned till tomorrow, which means brace yourself for another stormy session tomorrow as well. Here's a roundup of what played out.
The Chinese, China.
Fireworks erupted on day 2 of discussion on President's address in Lok Sabha. Ruckus broke out after Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi once again mentioned China, quoting from former Army Chief General M.M. Narvane's unpublished memoir.
The relationship between us and the Chinese.
Please continue with your speech, we are waiting, but please avoid referring to a matter which has been settled.
Just like on the first day, the chair interrupted, saying Rahul must speak only on the President's address.
Mr. Venugopal, kindly be seated once again. No, listen. No, please listen. What did you say just now? What is this yar? What is this yar? This is Parliament, this is Lok Sabha. You can't address the chair. You cannot address the chair with yar.
Chaos escalated as the opposition claimed Rahul Gandhi was being gagged by the speaker.
पहली चीज बोलने नहीं दे रहे हैं। मोदी जी घबराए हुए हैं।
आप उसको पसंद करो नहीं पसंद करो, लेकिन वो तो लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन इन इंडिया है, उसको तो मानना पड़ेगा, रिस्पेक्ट देना है। उसका वॉइस चुप कर देंगे तो हमारा क्या वॉइस होगा?
The situation worsened when the chair attempted to move on to other speakers.
मान माननीय श्रीमती शताब्दी राय, माननीय श्रीमती शताब्दी राय.
This did not go down well with the opposition. Congress MPs Manickam Tagore, Gurjeet Aujla, Raja Waring, Hebe Eden, Kiran Reddy and Venkat Raman stood on a table and threw papers towards the chair.
So one of the members addressed the chair as "Yaar," which I found objection to. I took objection to that. Then later on they came onto the table and tore papers and threw at the chair, which is very, very objectionable behavior.
जब लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन को नहीं बोलने देखो बाकी पीछे बच के जाता है. गवर्नमेंट ये डायरेक्शन थोड़ा ना करेगी. ये आप नहीं बोल सकते, ये बोल सकते हो. ये बात सुने, आराम से सुने, हम जो भी कहते हैं सुन लो, उसके बाद देश के सामने आप अपना पक्ष भी रखो.
कल पूरा दिन अपोजिशन लीडर राहुल गांधी जी का बोलने नहीं दिया. ऑथेंटिकेट करना है बोल रहे थे. आज ऑथेंटिकेट करके दे दिया राहुल गांधी जी ने. उसके बाद बोलने नहीं दे रहे थे.
The government moved a resolution to suspend the unruly MPs.
Sri Manickam Tagore, Sri Amrinder Singh Raja Waring, Sri Gurjeet Singh Aujla, Sri Hebe Eden Prashant, Padole, Sri Dean Karyakos, S. Venkatesh and Kiran Reddy resolved that the above mentioned members may be suspended from the services of the House.
Even as the resolution was being passed, more papers were thrown at the chair. Amid the ruckus, 8 MPs were suspended. Opposition leaders questioned the decision.
यहाँ पे ये तस्वीर आप देख रहे हैं जहाँ पे राहुल गांधी तमाम सांसदों के साथ खड़े हैं जो सस्पेंड हो गए हैं.
जो सस्पेंडेड है वो आगे आ जाए.
ईबी एडेन, राहुल गुरजीत औजला, राजा वॉरिंग यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं.
सस्पेंडेड वाले आगे आ जाए.
तमाम कांग्रेस के एमपी मकर द्वार से राहुल गांधी के साथ निकलते हुए यहाँ पे.
The Lok Sabha was adjourned till Wednesday shortly after 3 p.m. on a day that saw much drama and little work. With Piyush Mishra and Mausami Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
सभा की कार्रवाई बुधवार दिनांक 4 फरवरी 2026 को प्रातः 11 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की.
There have been so many questions of what the India-US trade deal fine print is. And we're getting you those details here on India Today. Government sources have in fact spoken out on India's oil sources, saying they were always diversified and that nothing has changed on that front. That as far as India is concerned, where do we get the best deal? That's all that matters. There have been a whole lot of questions about this because remember, Trump, when he announced the trade deal, mentioned and claimed that Prime Minister Modi has agreed to not purchase any more oil from Russia. To this now, India has replied saying very clearly that our sources were always diversified, never put in one basket in one country. Besides that, the other aspect is the questions over $500 billion worth of US goods. Again, a claim that was made by America that India would purchase this amount, $500 billion worth of US goods. Now, government sources have clarified, saying that it's not a one-shot, that this is over the next 5 years, that the data center alone will sum up a huge amount of that $500 billion. Now, also expect a joint statement in the next 2 to 3 days. Now, the finalities are being ironed out. In the next 2 to 3 days is when the joint statement will come out, which is when we'll get full details of exactly what this trade deal actually looks like. So this particular deal between India and US has been referred to as the greatest of all deals. But what really is the India-US trade deal? I'll break it down for you. For starters, the tariffs. The trade deal has ensured tariffs on India by America is down from 50% to 18%. And in return, India will lower its tariff on US exports to 0. This is in fact what Trump has also claimed, but that 50% to 18% has been confirmed by India too, which is a big climb down. What about oil? Well, this has been a bit complicated because Trump, in his announcement yesterday, late last night, claimed that India will no longer buy Russian oil, will shift instead to Venezuelan oil. What has India said on this? Well, sources have said that India will continue to buy crude oil from anywhere in the world where there are no sanctions, based on market rates. And so that is our stand, that we continue to have diversified sources. India didn't buy from Venezuela when sanctions were in place. Now that sanctions have been lifted, Venezuela is very much an option too. I will also highlight here that Russia has communicated that there's been no stopping supply of oil to India so far. Let's talk about agriculture now, which was a big sticking point and led to the delay in the trade deal being finalized because India stood its ground on this. As far as agriculture goes, what's changed? Well, the government has maintained that there's been no compromise on the interests of farmers. The sensitive sectors in agriculture and dairy that were protected will continue to be protected. America has confirmed that the trade deal includes more access for American agricultural products in India. So that's again something we need clarity on. A joint statement in the next few days will hopefully give us that. This landmark deal will be a major win for India because it opens up access to global markets. What does India gain therefore? Lower tariff on textiles, lower tariffs on leather, on gems, on automobiles. Indian MSMEs will receive also a massive boost in exports. The pharma, which is actually excluded but will subsequently also benefit. The generic sector will also benefit significantly. But the biggest advantage perhaps lies in electronics. The global chip supply chain may shift to India. And then additionally, this deal will strengthen IT and services exports, facilitate essentially smoother access to defense and high-tech sectors. In short, this deal has the potential to transform India's trade and tech landscape. But it all depends on what really the trade deal looks like. At this point, we don't have a whole lot of details from the Indian side because as the government has said, the joint statement will be out in the next 2 to 3 days. Listen to what Union Minister Piyush Goyal said.
मैं 140 करोड़ देशवासियों की तरफ से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का धन्यवाद करता हूं और आप सभी को बधाई देता हूं क्योंकि ये वास्तव में भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था को, भारत के 140 करोड़ नागरिकों को, हर गरीब, किसान, मछुआरा, गांव में रहने वाला युवा, युवती, हमारी बहनें, महिलाएं, सभी के लिए ढेर सारे अवसर लाने वाला ट्रेड डील माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कल तय किया.
But this was the moment markets were waiting for. The India-US trade deal is finally ready. The Lal Street is celebrating in style. Indian equities opened to their biggest ever surge. From stocks to the rupee, sentiment turned sharply positive. And here's how this landmark deal triggered a blockbuster day on the Lal Street. The moment markets were waiting for. The deal is done and the Lal Street is on fire. History was made overnight as India and the United States sealed a landmark trade agreement, sending a powerful signal to global markets. This was not just diplomacy, this was a game-changing economic breakthrough. A bumper opening on the Lal Street, the Josh sky high, sentiment euphoric and confidence flooding back into Indian markets. Indian stock markets surged with the BSE Sensex rising over 4,200 points and the Nifty 50 climbing 1,250 points during trade. Investor and traders both relieved about easing tariff uncertainty and a boost in investor confidence. Stocks listed on the BSE added more than 20 lakh crore rupees to market capitalization within minutes of the opening bell. The opening gains in indices today were the largest ever in the history of Indian stock exchanges. The previous highest spike was in May last year, and before that in June 2024. Industries across India are celebrating. From textiles to pharma, electronics to machinery. Export-heavy stocks lead the rally as the trade deal unlocked fresh global demand visibility. The biggest winners span key export-driven sectors: textile and garments, auto and auto ancillary, shrimp exporters, chemicals, solar equipment and consumer stocks as global demand confidence returns and trade flows strengthen.
We are at the top of the pyramid in the sense that we are going to be providing a large part of IT services to the global nation. In fact, I think most of the IT company stocks, I think, were underrated or not rated well, largely because of the fact that if American companies are not spending enough money, I think where would be the technology traveling to? Today, I think that cloud is over.
The momentum spilled into the currency markets as well. The rupee strengthened sharply against the dollar, gaining 111 paise, reflecting rising confidence, stronger capital flow expectations, and improving global sentiment after the India-US trade deal. The India-US deal is also expected to revive foreign investor confidence and reverse the massive fund outflows which have plagued stock markets for the past year.
One of the reasons why the FPIs have been holding back for all entire 2025 was largely due to the trade uncertainties, because it's not only the tariffs which matter, but also the signals that it gives, saying that India and US were kind of going apart. Now this deal decisively puts both the countries together.
It was a historic morning for Indian markets. It marked a structural shift. It opened a new chapter in India-US economic ties. And the Lal Street delivered a blockbuster day. Bureau Report, Business Today TV. And just before the announcement of the trade deal by Trump on social media, he'd set off speculation by sharing of India Today magazine cover. A photo of himself with Prime Minister Modi featured in the magazine as the mover and the shaker. Let's tell you about the story behind this cover and how Trump got his hands on it. Just before US President Donald Trump announced the confirmation of the mega trade deal with India, he took to his Truth Social account to feature an India Today magazine cover. The magazine cover on the India-US trade deal was aptly titled The Mover and the Shaker, with images of Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. And it's got the attention of the world. What a moment for India.
Obviously, I was delighted that he's noticed India Today and posted it at a time when the trade deal was just before to be announced as a signal. So it kind of it was the 50th anniversary of India Today, and it's a great honor that he's done this. And we've always believed that good content gets noticed, and that's what we've done.
But what is the story behind this magazine cover, and how did the US president take note of it? India Today magazine's group editorial director Raj Chengappa revealed how the magazine reached the highest political office in America and why its message mattered at a crucial geopolitical moment.
We had decided to put both Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the cover of India Today as the newsmaker for 2025. They dominated the news as we knew it. And so I had the privilege of writing this particular cover story and researching it. As we stand in 2026, both of them are looking for legacy. That was what was very interesting to me. Both above 70 years, Mr. Modi in his third term, Trump in his second term, both looking to see what they could leave behind. He's already made a tremendous amount of changes across the world, disrupted it globally. Mr. Modi has been steady, he has been resilient, and we've seen how he's guided India through these very troubled times and come out the winner, as we've seen in our recent MOTN polls, and the fact that he's won his third successive victory, which is a great credit to him. So the juxtaposition of this, very happy to see that the President of the United States has seen this cover and has actually tweeted it.
US Ambassador to India Sergio Gore also revealed how US President Trump took note of India Today's magazine cover.
But
so one thing I'll share with the viewers that I think I told you, Raj, I ran into Raj at the Republic Day reception that Her Excellency the President hosted. And I ran into Raj and I told him, you know, I went to a meeting and I saw the most incredible cover. And I took a picture and I sent it to the President. Little did I know that he would be posting it online. I would have gotten a better picture of it, not as crumpled. And I appreciated you sent me some brand new copies recently of it. So those are actually in the mail to the White House.
India Today Group's editor-in-chief Arun Puri also broke down how the cover, titled The Mover and the Shaker, was chosen.
The Newsmaker of the Year is normally, it's an annual event, and we normally put one person on it. But there was a debate in it that here were two people who were shaking up the world order, the country itself. So President Trump and Prime Minister Modi were considered to be the newsmakers. We thought either one or the other. Then we said, well, they're pretty intertwined with each other. And that's how we decided to put them together. We called one the Mover, which is Prime Minister Modi, because of the Reform Express which he had and the kind of year which he's done, changing India. And President Trump, of course, changing the world order and also having something to do with India in terms of the trade deal, the buying of Russian oil. So all these are quite intertwined with each other.
A moment in history for India, and India Today etched in it. Another signal of the magazine's influence in shaping the global conversation. Bureau Report, India Today. What a moment for India, what a moment for India Today. How is India going to benefit from the trade deal with America? Maria Shakil spoke with Lulu Group Managing Director on the sidelines of the World Government Summit in Dubai. He has an excerpt of what he has to say about this landmark deal.
India has signed and sealed a deal with United States.
Yes.
The tariff is now at 18%. How do you look at these developments?
See, this is a great achievement for India. India is a great country. See, nobody can dictate the conditions with India because our government under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji is very strong and everybody need Indian products. That is very important. And also, it is a great step because two largest democracy in the world, join together for the commercial and trading purposes. It's good for everybody. And see now, our seafood exporters and our fruits and vegetable exporters and a lot of our export, quantity will increase because United States is a very big consumption, United States. So it's a good for...
Do you think India managed to have this deal on its own terms because of, the multiple FTAs that we have seen with the European Union and others? It forced the United States to agree to terms of India.
See, this is win-win situation. We are not looking who won the situation, who is not winning. Both will win. We want win-win situation because our country's export should increase and also we want good relation, bilateral relation, political relation, commercial relation with all the country. Then we want to reach 5 trillion economy. And this government, under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, this will reach. As a businessman, as an Indian national, I'm very happy.